What's happening, guys? Max here. Got beautiful Costa Rica in the background, chilling up here for a few months and loving the heat. More Stray Kids today. And it's time that I get to know our boy Han a little bit more. The guy is incredibly funny. I think he's got an incredible ability to assess social situations. May not be the most comfortable always socially, but just a really intelligent guy. So I'd love to dive into his personality and maybe his background just a bit more.
안녕하세요, 스트레이 기산입니다. 원키즈룸 화이팅. 와.
See Han after he introduced himself, he kind of looked down as if he was embarrassed. I think we might, in this episode, I might see Han's more socially awkward side.
겉으로는 밝아 보이는 친구인데 속으로는 되게 많이 생각하는.
한이가 앞에서 리드를 해줘야 우리가 얘기를 하는데 얘가 없어서. 한이는 움직이는 거
Very
싫어.
funny.
움직이는 거 싫어.
진짜 싫어하지.
Felix is always cuddling with someone, isn't he? Man, these guys are really physically affectionate with each other. And again, I'm always amazed when I see that because it's still sort of a shock to me to see that. Even though I lived in South Korea for a year, I lived in Daegu, and I did see that, and I remember receiving physical affection from other men. Definitely caught me off guard.
침대에서 벗어나질 못하지.
서 있는 걸 별로 본 적이 없어.
그러니까 굳이 움직이려고 하지 않는 것 같아. 무슨 특별한 상황이 있지 않는 이상.
한이가 런닝 뛴다고 생각해봐.
It still amazes me how well these guys know each other and just how specific their observations are about one another. Really do have a special bond, these boys. And this was 2 years ago. So I can only imagine how much closer they've gotten since then.
오 봤어 근데.
한참 운동했을 때.
한참 운동했을 때.
옛날에.
옆에서 30분 뛰더니 이러고 갔어.
어딜 가든 노가 있잖아.
활동적인 걸 제가 별로 안 좋아하는 것 같아요. 그래서 계속 쉬는 날에도 거의 침대에서 약간 동영상 보거나 그냥 작업하거나 작업은 굳이 안 움직여도 되잖아요. 그래가지고 안 움직이는 걸 되게 많이 찾아서 하는 것 같아요. 뇌만 쓸 수 있는 거.
Yeah, I'm sensing a little awkwardness from Han here, you know? It's like the boys were just joking. Like it wasn't like they were saying anything bad about Han. They were just talking about his inactivity. But Han, not necessarily getting defensive, but he's not necessarily showing his humor about the situation because I think actually Han might be more sensitive than I originally thought. Like I do actually think he is quite a sensitive guy. He's really good at sort of poking fun at the other guys, it seems like. He's really funny, makes really, really smart observations. But I wonder, can Han take it? Can Han take the teasing? Can he take the jokes back?
대단한 것 같아 진짜. 대단해요 진짜. 근데 확실히 한이는 그걸로 통해 다른 세계로 이렇게 탈출할 수 있는 그런 것도 있는 것 같기도 하고.
영감도 많이 받는.
That's a very, very interesting observation by Bang Chan. When I said earlier, like Han's a really unique person, I think Bang Chan's sort of implying that here. He really does seem to tap into a different world at times.
그러니까 영상 보는 것도 되게 특이한 거 많이 보는 게 되게 잡 지식들 같은 거 있잖아. 맞아. 그런 걸 되게 많이 봐. 그러니까 어떤 걸 하나 구독해 놓더니 뭐 곤충, 뭐 동물, 뭐 공룡 이런 거 다 봐. 그냥
Hyunjin's saying it too. He's unique. He's unique. Right? Hyunjin's talking very confidently right now.
작업에 거의 동영상 보거나
Yeah, so it sounds like the guys have him pretty spot on. They have Han pretty spot on here.
아니면 옛날에는 아기 때는 좀 상상력이 풍부해가지고 손가락 가지고 놀던가 제가 불 끄고 자는 걸 무서워해가지고 형광등 있었는데 그거 이렇게 돌리면 위로 돌리면 위에 발사되거든요. 그걸로 손가락 가지고 그림자 만들고 놀거나 옛날엔 그렇게 자주 시간 보냈던 것 같아요. 어렸을 때.
That's really interesting. Yeah, he sounds like he's got like a real creative imagination. Yeah, Han's an interesting one because like sometimes he can come across as a little awkward, but you know, I think he's obviously a very introspective guy. You know, he's able to articulate stories from the past quite well, and I don't think he has a problem. It doesn't seem like sharing personal stories like that from the past.
겁 많아요?
겁 진짜 많지.
겁 진짜 많아.
고소공포증도 있고, 아니 뭐야, 그 높이는 것도
Bang Chan you'll see him looking around all the time. Whereas a guy like Hyunjin, for example, he's more in his head a lot of the time. Not to say he's not observant at all, but like when he's speaking, he's sort of like thinking about what he has to say and he's focusing generally in one area at a time. Or when someone else is speaking, he's not always looking at them and listening. He's just sort of in his head interpreting the words. Whereas Bang Chan seems like he's really playing off the facial expressions and body language of the other guys in the group. And you see Bang Chan there acknowledging Hyunjin's emotional reaction by just going over and touching him. A big part of what makes him a great leader is his awareness and his ability to look around and understand what's going on. I think he has a natural ability to connect with people, Bang Chan, but I think it's also something that he understands how to do.
외향적이고 활발한데 원래 제가 성격이 엄청 내성적이고 그리고 집 밖도 원래 잘 안 나가서 네, 낯을 많이 가리는 것 같아요. 제가 처음 보는 사람이랑은 거의 24시간 동안 말을 안 해가지고.
Yeah, that's funny that he says that. I can see that, and I know a lot of you guys said that Han was actually introverted or more on the introverted side, which was initially a little surprising to me considering, like he just said, how social he is with people that he knows. And that's the case with a lot of people who lean more on the introverted side. But again, interesting that he's saying all that because I do sense an awkwardness from him. Maybe it in part is because I spoke on his authenticity and it's just like he doesn't know how to put on a persona. He's an interesting one, like Hyunjin said. He's unique, right? He's a unique guy who doesn't seem to put on these airs.
사람 많을수록 얘가 좀 더 불안해지는 느낌이 드는 것 같은데.
말을 진짜 안 해.
친해지면은 이제 끝이 없어. 그냥 이제
끝이 없어.
끝장나죠.
친해지는 거 진짜 어려워요. 어렸을 때부터 약간
Maybe part of him being true to who he is, he doesn't really care that much to interact with people. Maybe he's just more interested in things than people. Like he's just maybe not interested as much in new people. That could be a thing too. And I think he's just into what he's into. And he doesn't know how to sort of act otherwise. I think that's a part of his awkwardness or where that awkwardness may come from. But hey, if you're friends with Han, consider yourself lucky.
근데 저는 혼자 있거나 아니면 정말 낯선 곳에 가면 되게 몸이 되게 굳어요. 되게 얼고 원래 하던 것도 잘 못하고 그런 애라서 멤버들이 같이 있어야만 좀 활발해지는 그런 사람입니다. 없으면 좀 많이 힘들어요. 되게
Interesting, because to me, like Han is such a star. He really is. Like he's got so much charisma in front of the camera. Like when he's feeling good, we need to get Han feeling confident and good. Because this guy is a freaking superstar. The sky is the limit for Han.
되게 말 더듬잖아요, 저 지금.
Yeah, he's very self-aware.
애들이 왔는데 애들이 오는 소리 들려가지고 제가 너무 움직이기 싫은데 너무 오랜만에 보는 것 같아서 그때 달려나가서 애들을 반겨줬던 기억이 있어요. 그때 처음 들어온 게 아마 승민이었을 거예요. 근데 뭔가 계속 같이 있다가 되게 이틀 정도 떨어져 있으니까 처음은 승민이한테 되게 너무 보고 싶었다고 말한 적이 있어요.
That's really interesting about Han, and it makes me appreciate him even more because I think it sounds like it's a struggle for him to act confident and act cheerful. It's like almost like he has to force himself to get out of his comfort zone. But the reward is like once he does, he's actually quite happy. He had to force himself to get out of his bed to greet Sungmin, but I'm sure that interaction went a long way. Yeah, just a unique guy who's got a ton of charisma, but it's interesting how that doesn't necessarily come naturally all the time.
한이는 인간미가 넘친다. 알고 보면 인간미가 넘친다.
Right after he did that, he kind of laughed and looked away from the camera, almost as if, he didn't feel comfortable saying that.
한이는 인간미가 넘친다.
See, like he looked away right after and laughed, like took away from the sincerity of the statement because maybe he feels uncomfortable speaking highly about himself. Maybe that's another thing about Han.
앞으로도 계속 장난 많이 치고 아주 귀여운 한이로 계속 활동할 테니까 많이 지켜봐 주세요.
I kind of feel bad about him saying that at the end, saying that he's going to show his cheerful side. Like, he doesn't have to do that. I think everyone just wants Han to be Han. And this was cool. There was a lot to digest in this, actually. As always, if you want to watch my uncut reaction, all you need to do is click on my Patreon link below. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. My name is Max. I will catch you soon. Peace.